For thousands of years, the pyramids of Egypt have stood as silent witnesses to a lost world. Monuments to pharaohs who ruled as gods on earth. We know the Great Pyramids of Giza, the iconic trio that has captivated humanity for centuries. But what if I told you there's another one, a pyramid lost to the sands of time, a ghost from Egypt's most powerful dynasty? This is the story of the lost pyramid of Djedefre, and the enduring mystery of why we can't seem to find it. Let's rewind the clock about 4,500 years to Egypt's fourth dynasty. This was the golden age of pyramid building. The pharaoh Khufu had just completed his masterpiece, the Great Pyramid of Giza. After his reign, his son Djedefre took the throne. Now, you'd expect Djedefre to build his pyramid right next to his father's, continuing the family legacy at Giza. But he didn't. Instead, he chose a remote, desolate plateau about 5 miles to the north, a place we now call Abu Rawash. Why did he do this? The theories are fascinating. Some Egyptologists believe Djedefre wanted to distance himself from family conflicts, perhaps a power struggle with his half-brothers. Others suggest he was a devout follower of the sun god Ra, and the high plateau of Abu Rawash offered a more prominent position, closer to the sun itself. Whatever the reason, his decision to build away from Giza sealed his pyramid's fate and kicked off a mystery that lasts to this day. For centuries, scholars thought Djedefre's pyramid was never even finished. All that remained was a massive pit, a series of trenches cut into the bedrock and scattered blocks of red granite. It looked like the abandoned construction site of an overly ambitious project. Early explorers who visited Abu Rawash described a scene of utter ruin, concluding that the pharaoh must have died shortly after starting construction, leaving his eternal home incomplete. For a long time, that was the accepted story. An unfinished pyramid, a short reigning king case closed. But then, in the early 20th century, new excavations began to challenge this idea. Archaeologists digging through the rubble started finding incredible things. They unearthed fragments of what was once a magnificent mortuary temple, pieces of statues, and most importantly, evidence that the pyramid's outer casing was made of polished red granite, not the usual white limestone. This was a big deal. Red granite was incredibly difficult to quarry and transport from Aswan, hundreds of miles to the south. You wouldn't go to all that trouble for an unfinished project. Even more telling was the discovery of beautiful, masterfully carved statues of Djedefre himself. One of these, a quartzite head now housed in the Louvre, is considered one of the finest examples of Old Kingdom art. Royal statues like these were typically created and placed in the pyramid complex only after it was completed. The evidence was mounting. Djedefre's pyramid wasn't unfinished at all. It was completed. So the question changed from why wasn't it finished to what on earth happened to it? The answer, it seems, is a story of systematic destruction that unfolded over millennia. The first culprits were likely ancient tomb robbers. Djedefre's pyramid, isolated and far from the well-guarded Giza necropolis, would have been an easy target. Robbers would have torn their way through the outer casing and into the burial chamber, searching for the pharaoh's treasures. We see evidence of this in the deep shafts and tunnels that were clearly not part of the original design. They were crude, destructive, and aimed straight for the heart of the pyramid. After the robbers took the gold and jewels, a much slower, more methodical destruction began. Starting in the Roman period, Djedefre's pyramid became a local quarry. Its high-quality red granite and limestone blocks were simply too valuable to leave alone. For nearly 2,000 years, builders came to Abu Rawash to cart away stone for their own projects in the nearby Nile Delta. It was essentially a free, pre-cut hardware store. They dismantled the pyramid, block by block, layer by layer, until almost nothing was left standing above ground. What we see today isn't an unfinished pyramid. It's the hollowed-out shell of a once great monument. This is why it's called the Lost Pyramid. It wasn't lost in the sense that we didn't know its location. It was lost because its very form, its pyramidal shape, was erased from the landscape. It hid in plain sight, disguised as a ruin. But the mystery doesn't end there. Even with all the destruction, the most important part of the pyramid should still be there. The subterranean chambers, the burial vault of the pharaoh himself. And this is where modern technology enters the picture, reigniting the search. The layout of Djedefre's pyramid is unique. Unlike the Giza pyramids, which have their chambers hidden deep within the stone structure, Djedefre's was built around a huge open pit. A long descending ramp leads down into the earth, terminating in a vertical shaft where the burial chamber was supposed to be. For decades, Archaeologists have been trying to clear this shaft, which is filled with tons of sand, stone, and debris. It's a slow, painstaking process. Every bucket of sand could hold a clue. But what lies at the bottom? Is Djedefre's sarcophagus still there, waiting to be discovered? Or was it too destroyed or removed by the ancient quarrymen? This is where the hunt gets really exciting. In recent years, teams have been using advanced technology to peer beneath the surface. One of the most promising techniques is called muography. It's like a giant X-ray for pyramids. By detecting tiny particles called muons that shower down from space, scientists can map out density variations inside a large structure. They can detect hidden voids, corridors, and chambers without drilling a single hole. This technology was famously used at the Great Pyramid of Khufu, where it helped discover a massive, previously unknown void. Now, researchers are eager to apply the same methods at Abu Rawash. Could muography finally reveal the location of Djedefre's burial chamber? Could it pinpoint hidden corridors that robbers and quarrymen missed? The potential is immense. It could confirm once and for all that the pyramid was finished and maybe, just maybe, lead us to an intact chamber. Another piece of tech being used is ground-penetrating radar, or GPR. By sending radio waves into the ground, archaeologists can create a map of what lies beneath the sand. They've been scanning the area around the pyramid's base, searching for the outlines of the causeway, the Valley Temple, and other structures that were part of the original complex. Each discovery helps piece together the puzzle of what this site once looked like. It's digital archaeology rebuilding the lost pyramid on a computer screen. So where does that leave us? The mystery of Egypt's lost pyramid is a perfect example of how our understanding of history is constantly evolving. What was once dismissed as a failure is now seen as a grand, completed monument that fell victim to history itself. It wasn't lost because of a supernatural curse or some ancient alien mystery. It was lost due to human activity, theft, greed, and practicality. It was recycled. The search for Djedefre's final resting place continues, fueled by a tantalizing mix of old-fashioned digging and cutting-edge science. Will we ever find his burial chamber? Will we one day be able to definitively say what treasures it held? No one knows for sure. But the enduring quest at Abu Rawash reminds us that there are still great secrets buried beneath the Egyptian sands, waiting for the right moment and the right technology to be revealed. The story of the Lost Pyramid isn't over. The next chapter is just waiting to be excavated. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by ancient mysteries like this one, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more explorations into the past. See you next time.